Hello, everyone. I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing a Hasbro PulseCon reveal for the Lightning Collection. Holy shit. More news about 10 Gokaiger and so many fucking episodes I had to watch in the span of 2 hours.
Yeah, we actually had to cut one of the episodes because, we didn't have time.
Yeah, but before we get into all that, Buster, how has your week been?
It started off pretty bad, but it turned pretty good. I've been catching up on Power Rangers comics. I'm all caught up with Mighty Morphin. I still have to do Power Rangers, the Omega Ranger book, but I'm all caught up with the Boom comics. Caught up with Saber. We'll talk about that later. And yeah.
Yeah, we've both been getting into the Power Rangers comics again, but we're not going to talk about that here because we're about live-action Tokusatsu here. But if you want to hear our thoughts, go listen to the new episode of Modular Components this Friday on the Modular Media YouTube channel.
Yeah, I might have to talk about it next week as well because I did talk about the new books because I only read just the catch up of the first 5 years of comics, and only now I'm starting to get to the new stuff.
Well, honestly, that kind of works because that means I can title this week's episode Boom Power Rangers Phase 1, and then next week's episode I already know the title, Boom Power Rangers Phase 2, brackets so far.
Yeah. Anyway, this isn't about the comics, but this is about you. How are you doing, Vac?
I'm all right. I just had the first day of my new job, which was almost entirely orientation. And that was pretty okay, but I'll be honest, I was feeling pretty drained up until I just chugged half a Coke before we started recording, which I would not recommend doing, listeners. That's horrible for your body, but if you need to be up and ready to be on recording, you got to do shit like that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of energy, or thunder in this case.
There's power and thunder, there's power and energy. It all links together to talk about a Power Rangers toy, everybody, because getting into the news, the Metal Power Thunder Megazord is now available for pre-order. I haven't been following this project too closely, but is this a third-party Power Rangers toy?
It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, it's from Metal Power. That's what the logo says, and I think it's from in
the promotional image here. There is a Hasbro and a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo, so this must be licensed.
Yeah, exactly. Which I like the Thunder Megazord, but I'm kind of waiting on an actual Megazord that combines.
Well, see, here's the thing with me and the Thunder Megazord. I think the Zords on their own look cool. I think the Megazord mode on its own looks cool. Something about the way that original toy and the way they combined never really gelled to me. So to see a toy here that's purely about the Megazord mode and making it have awesome articulation, which seems to be the idea here, is a really cool idea to me. However, I'm just going to go ahead and say I have no interest in picking this up.
Valid.
But if you are interested in it, listeners, it is available for pre-order on Toku Lectables and Big Bad Toy Store right now. The figure is going to have 45 points of articulation, 5 sets of hands, a sword, a staff, and a display stand. So basically everything you'd want out of this kind of figure of the Thunder Megazord. However, fair warning, this is pretty steep. It's going to be releasing sometime in the fourth quarter of this year, and it's currently on Big Bad Toy Store. They are asking $319.99 for it,
Eeks.
And there is a $32 non-refundable down payment.
Eeks.
Yeah. It's definitely on the higher end scale there, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to probably the most bizarre bit of news this week, which is that the Toei Tokusatsu fan club streaming service in Japan now has Power Rangers Turbo as part of its lineup.
Well, I mean, I think the last major series they added was Super Mega Force, so...
I almost spit out my drink.
I'm not seeing your face right now, so I don't know.
Oh my god. But no, this went up on the streaming service on July 17th with a full Japanese dub, where the Red Ranger, I'm assuming both Red Rangers are played by the same actor as Red Racer from Car Ranger.
Pretty cool.
So if you're in Japan or have access via a VPN, I guess go ahead and check out the Japanese dub of Turbo.
I mean, the second half of Turbo is actually pretty good from what I remember. Like, it's like fun Power Ranger stuff.
Parts of it are pretty good. There's an episode in there that I would consider among some of the worst Power Rangers episodes of all time.
Yeah, I kind of need to like rewatch Zeo and Turbo because like when I think about it, I think I might like Turbo a tad more than Zeo, but that's for another
That's
day.
a hot fucking take, dude.
Well, look, Zeo has that like. There's a lot of like. I think it's the production stuff that gets me about Zeo, but that's for another day.
All right. Well, let's get into something that was for today, because literally while I was at work, I got like 5 different people messaging me about this. Hasbro has revealed the Power Rangers Lightning Collection PulseCon exclusive for this year, and it is a fully articulated figure of Pudgy Pig from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It is going to come with multiple accessories, the fork and the knife he used as weapons in the show, as well as an effects part, which is yellow in the promotional photos, but green in the packaging art, so I don't know what color it's actually going to be. And he's also going to come with alternate hands and a plate of nachos, a pie with a removable slice, and a taco, and the packaging is a lunchbox. I'm just going to come out and say it. I think this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, even as like I've been warming up to MMPR thanks to the comics, and yeah, this is a pretty cool idea. I will say, however,
go ahead.
Remember, like we were talking about how the monsters line might be dead. Maybe they just decided like this was going to originally be released with iGuy, but the last minute they decided, hey, we can make this an exclusive.
Wave 2 was supposed to be iGuy and Piranha's head. We knew that via leak.
Never mind. Yeah.
So I wonder if this might actually be the last Monsters release. Like, iGuy was salvaged from Wave 2 because they had him far enough along, and then they said, well, no matter what, we're doing this because this is one of the most recognizable monsters of the week.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a PulseCon exclusive. They're probably not going to make as many as like a retail product, so...
And yeah, it's already on my wants list. I am going to try and get this thing because it's just such a unique item. I mean, there's been Pudgy Pig figures before, but none this detailed or well articulated. And like, oh man, I just want it as part of my display.
Yeah, that's valid.
And for those of you who are also interested in it, it will be going up in September as part of Hasbro PulseCon. You will only be able to get it on HasbroPulse.com with early access for premium members, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same kind of thing where if they don't sell through their stock to premium members, then it will go on sale for the general public, and the asking price is $45 USD.
Yep.
Now all that's out of the way, let's get into Sentai toys.
Yeah.
Gaoranger Shodo, it's happening. You like Gaoranger? You like Shodo? Here's your Gaoranger Shodo.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nobody expected this except everyone. I mean, they look great. Yeah. They look great, but like,
they look good for Shodos. I'll give them that. I'm not interested in Shodo
like a fighting
whatsoever.
Game term.
It does, doesn't it?
Shodo?
Especially because it's officially titled Shodo Super Hyakuju Sentai Gaoranger.
Yeah. Yeah, but they look pretty decent. Yeah, if you want, if you want to like get some decent Wild Force / Gaoranger figures, then I guess you can go here. That's all I got.
I mean, like, they look like here's my thing with these. I love these suits, but I just have no interest in these because these are 5 inches tall instead of 6 inch, which is my default scale in collecting. And the detailing on them actually doesn't look as good as previous Shodo releases for old Sentai teams. Like those swords, all the detail on them is clearly stickers. And the thighs and the shoulders.
Your voice is glitching.
Oh,
your voice is glitching.
Let me try turning off my camera, see if that helps it. Is it better now?
Slightly.
Hello, testing.
Yeah, it's working way better now.
Okay. But yeah, the thighs, the shoulders, and the ankles are just super gappy. Like, for those of you who just want super articulated Gaoranger figures, this is clearly your best option, but stuff like that just irks me so much. Plus, it's not in my scale, so I just have no interest in these. But if you do have interest in them, they're going to be releasing... the pre-order should already be open by now, but this article doesn't have any pricing information, so maybe head to your favorite middleman and see what they're asking.
Yeah.
And then, this is the most Bandai move I've seen Bandai pull in a while. P-Bandai has announced the Diecast Sentai gear set, which is basically, hey, did you just buy all the plastic regular DX release Sentai gears for your Zenkaiger toys? Here's metal versions, and they come in a big fancy box.
For $400.
Jesus. I mean, if I really needed that show accuracy and I just and money was just no object to me, I'd be down for this. But like as is, it's like, oh, this is something that I will only ever see in a con dealer.
Yeah, basically. Okay, but that's all I can say.
Yeah, but okay, let's go and get on to the thing. Let's go and get on.
We talked about this like first reaction on like the thing you'll see on Friday. Like,
yeah, go listen to Components if you want to hear our first reactions to this. But oh man, bread and butter. It's the new trailer for Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger V Cinema 10 years 10 Gokaiger. The fucking. It looks great. It looks so good. I'm so excited, Buster. I'm practically busting at the seams with excitement.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It looks very like a Gokaiger movie, would do, especially 10 years after. Everyone looks great. There's like Gokai. Marvelous got like an eye patch. People
and
are
he's wearing
fighting.
a black jacket and a fucking red top. He looks like Captain Harlock.
Yeah, that's what everyone's been saying, and I'm like, I wish I knew who that was.
And the new upgrade form, Gokai Cross Armor, is honestly pretty sick. I really dig it.
I my favorite part is like you can barely see it, but they gave like Marvelous like a long coat, and I just love long coats on Toku suits.
Oh, they totally did. That's awesome.
Yeah, now he looks a tad more like Wizard. So.
Also, I'm gonna say the same thing I said on Components. Luca looks like everybody's estranged gay aunt, and I am here for it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, this movie looks. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like a Civil War, like everyone's fighting each other kind of movie, like but they all like unite.
Yeah, because there appears to be Sentai clones of some kind, or maybe we're getting some past Rangers returning and they just are saving that for later as an announcement. Also, like, clearly there's going to be a big fight between Gaia and Marvelous, and I want to know what that shit's about.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the Gaoranger, like, V Cinema, like, with the...
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got. It looks great. Can't wait just need a better trailer, Not like this trailer was good, but like a longer one. You feel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, March 9, 2022 cannot come fast enough.
Exactly.
But let's hop into Ultraman news.
We kind of skipped this last week.
Yeah, I missed it. I just straight up missed it. But
this is like big news.
Yeah, because Ultraman Tiga, Dyna, and Gaia will be receiving North American DVD releases with full subs.
Yep.
Mill Creek, you're out here doing king shit.
Yeah. Now here's so Ultraman Tiga. We all know, like, if you've watched my video, we all know there's a bit of complications with Johnny's.
Yeah, we talked about the Daigo thing last week.
Yeah, and Tiga, like, it seems like everything's intact. Apparently, out of all of these, one of them's going to be missing, and that's Final Odyssey, I think. Because of music rights, I think. So
interesting.
And also, these are DVDs, not Blu-rays, and that's because there isn't really like HD Blu-ray enhanced things. They can do at standard definition, like HD, which is
because from what I know, these shows were made around the same time as Kuga, so they're in the same boat as that show with like. It's on equipment so old that we would have to go in and like completely remake the show from the raw footage in order to make it HD.
Basically, so it's SD HD, which, hey, that's fine. We're still getting the shows. DVD is still a great format. It's basically,
Mm-hmm. pretty much every Blu-ray player, except for like the cheapest ones nowadays, still play DVDs. So
Yeah, and like computers play DVD.
yeah. So get this and watch the Ultraman Heisei trilogy on your computer. Tiga will be out August 5th, or sorry, October 5th. Dyna is going to be releasing on November 2nd, and Gaia is releasing on December 7th. And they will all be $34.99 USD.
Although Best Buy, if you go to Best Buy to get them, because there's like they usually mark down the prices to like $20. So
yeah. Ooh.
I actually got like an Ultraman X Blu-ray for like $10 there. It was on sale.
Sick.
Yeah.
But okay, toy news time. More toy news. We now have the official announcement of SH Figuarts Ultraman Trigger Multi-Type, and it looks good.
And that's all I got. It's a great. Honestly, this is making me appreciate the suit more because I think I'm vibing. Like after this in episode 2, I'm vibing with the suit a lot more.
Especially with the photos in this release that have it standing next to that new Tiga figure art.
Yeah. That's all I got. It looks good.
Yeah. And like just so sick that I always want to say like either Toei or Toho. I never default to Subaraya, but Subaraya put an ad for this thing in this week's episode of Trigger, which was super awesome for them to just be on the ball like that, I thought.
Yeah, like the Subaraya, like we could talk about this during the Trigger, but they're really good at promoting their stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if anyone out there is interested in this, pre-orders are already open through your favorite middleman service, so go check out importers and whatnot. We also have a new Ultraman vinyl announced, the Ultra Large Monster Series 5000 Magular figure, which is 28 centimeters long, and it's gonna run how much? Let me translate this because I remember it being a stupid price.
I mean, like we kind of covered like something similar to this earlier, like in the week.
Yeah,
earlier, like in the show. I mean,
yeah, the vinyls are always ridiculously priced, especially when they're targeted at collectors. Yeah, this translates to $50.21 USD for a figure that doesn't really do much.
It looks fine though.
Yeah, it's fairly well detailed. I'll give it that. But brushing past that and into Kamen Rider news, we have the announcement of the Kamen Rider 01 DX Zaia Zetsumerise key set.
And I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're gonna get to this. Is Leon Arkland, right?
Yeah, this is our Kamen Rider Zaia Arkland's suit. So it's like
yeah,
he's like the best part of like the Metsubo Jinrai movie. Mm-hmm. So and he's like basically I'd argue he's 01's best villain. Like I'm not saying 01 has bad villains, far from it, but like for me he's just the standout for like all of 01's villains, movie or otherwise.
To be honest, I'm not super interested in these toys as like a collector, but I'm glad they're being made, just because the character was so great. And you know, the thing about it is I'm trying to check here because I think it said
it's just the keys, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to check if there was going to be like voice clips in this, because that would get me to buy these if you could get like all his English voice clips.
Yeah. Although, like, it's just basically just using the Thouser driver. Some people are joking is this is just a way to get all those like clearance Thouser drivers sold.
Yeah, but it's again already up for pre-order. Let me translate this price real quick here. And this is a big old stinking P-Bandai web exclusive. So
middlemans are your friend.
That can't be right. Let me double check this. Wow, okay, this is actually fairly cheap. This is $27.11 United States.
Well, Progress keys are usually like $15, $17, and Zetsumerise keys are very cheap because they don't flip. So.
Oh, okay. See, I would just expect them to jack up the price because P-Bandai. Wait a minute, does this even... Let me check.
It doesn't come with the driver, so, like...
Well, I get that, but I'm trying to see if it does actually say P-Bandai anywhere. Scheduled for...
I think it's just a DX key set.
Yeah, it's not P-Bandai. This is general release. That's kind of surprising. You almost never see that for a Rider show after it finishes.
Yeah. Although then again, like 01 toys, I'm not like they're probably still on clearance at the moment, so
Oof. Let's get into some more current toys though, because we now have the official solicitation for SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Buster Genbu Shinwa. Is that how
Yeah.
you pronounce that? Okay. It's his default form, and I like the suit, so naturally I think this figure looks great.
same. It's like Buster's a really good suit. And I'm not saying that because it's username, but also it's just nice to get some merchandise of Dad Rider, so
Yeah, I bet so. Let me just translate the price real quick. So this is going to be a general release figure art, it looks like. Pre-orders are already open. It will be shipping in December of this year, and it's going to run you $65.26. So definitely one I would be interested in just on the strength of the design.
wow. I think you like the character.
I hopefully will one day.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. And then we also have some more general Saber DX toys. If I can get this link to open, come on.
Yeah, so Kamen Rider Suleiman and Kamen Rider Storius, is he called? Yeah, Storius and Suleiman are getting their ride books released in like a pack. And I know like some people are pissed because I know a friend who loves Storius but hates Suleiman, so they're like,
Also, what the fuck is that driver? That's like not even a driver. That's like
Well, Saber does this a lot. Like they did this with like Calibur's super form, where it's just place the giant book. And here's the cool part: a lot of the times they'll use their swords to like click on the button, so where the book opens up. So I just think that's a cool visual.
Oh.
Yeah, I like they're pretty cool suits. I know Suleiman's a kit bash, but it's a really good kit bash, and Storius is just like a great final villain design.
Yeah. So like I'm completely unfamiliar with any of this stuff, but I do think which one was it? Yeah, the dude with the horns and like the open book face, he's super cool looking.
Yeah, so like Storius, the guy in dark black.
Yes, him. Sure.
Yeah, he's the final villain of Saber.
Oh, okay. Question about Saber in general. How soon into the story is he introduced?
He's actually one of the first, like, there's 3 villains, and he's one of the first ones that kind of, like, start messing things. Like, so he's, like, in the first episode.
That's actually really cool for a Rider show, because they rarely actually do that. It's usually,
and, then they elaborate
30.
on his backstory. Like, I'll mention this during the Saber recap, but then they elaborate on his backstory, and it's actually a really good backstory. So, anyway, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, let's continue on, and we have a bit of Godzilla toy news. Mezco has announced that they are doing a new 5 points articulation figure, the 5 points XL Mafra and Shibija, the twins. It's Mafra and the twins in the 5 points articulation series, and for this series, they look good. The thing is, if you haven't heard of this series of figures, it's basically what if oh god, I forgot the name of the thing I was going to compare it to. Chibi anime figures.
Yeah. They look pretty decent.
There's a specific line I wanted to say. Give me a second to look them up here.
Yeah, but the Mafra, it looks pretty the Mafra one looks pretty accurate to the costume and this like.
Okay, I just found it. It's what if Nendoroid but not Chibi. That's how this line works. Because all the articulation is based around just simple pin joints, and there's interchangeable hands and arms and faces rather than having like proper super articulation, which seems like it's a way to save on the price, or it's just an aesthetic choice. I'm not really sure because I haven't looked into this line much, because it's honestly a little much for what it is, in my opinion, because this set is going to retail for $60 USD, and it will be shipping in March and May of next year. Okay. But
that's all I got. I now have a connect offer, so
yeah.
Anyway, on for some talks, I guess. Superhero Senki talk?
Yeah, we talked about this. What was it, last week or the week before that? The superhero Senki variety show special happened, and all the boys were there. The boys and Grandpa showed up, and Grandpa gave a big old speech, and then producer Grandpa showed up and gave an interview, and we learned some stuff, and it was very charming.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing to say. Just it's to see.
You didn't find any particularly interesting tidbits from the Shakura interview?
I probably just kind of like in a rush. I'm busy talking, so I'll find some things later to tweet about. But for now, can we get into the episodes?
Sure. Just real quick, everybody. If you haven't seen it, go check out. God, why am I blanking on so much stuff tonight? Hiroshi Fujita. Go check out Hiroshi Fujita's speech from that talk show, because it is genuinely one of the best things I've seen in a while.
Nice. Yeah, I'll probably check it out soon. But speaking of, today we got a special week of releases, not just because there's a lot of them, but because Vac's going to talk about Saber. No, it's because Saber and Zenkai are crossing over. Yes, it is the superhero Senki movie promotion.
I technically watched an episode of Saber this week.
Well, it doesn't really count towards the general episode count. It's just a special chapter, because I'm not even kidding. You know what was the last episode before this? It ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Astorius getting his book.
And I saw the preview for the next episode, which legitimately looked like, all right, boys, end game time.
Yeah, it is. Because we are approaching the end game in Saber. But anyway, Kamen Rider Saber, special chapter. Pirate arrives as worlds collide. So what did you think about Vac, since you're not Saber officiant?
I enjoyed parts of this episode. It's weird because, like, all the comedy, except for one big glaring thing that I'll talk about in a minute, really got me in this. Like, I was genuinely getting like a chuckle every couple minutes out of this episode. And I love the way all the writers are kind of reacting to Zox. And just being like, wow, this dude is amazing, or wow, this dude is a dickhead, depending on the person and the moment in the episode too. But it didn't do a lot on its own to endear me towards Saber. Like, I don't feel like I have a real feel for any of these characters except for the two that carry over into the Zenkaiger episode. Like, I kind of have a bit of a feel of Toma, but it's like all the same stuff I already know about him through osmosis.
Hey. Yeah, honestly, it's very much like, here, let's watch Zox do some funny things. Because really, Saber, in my opinion, is defined by its long story arcs. Like, it's very much a serialized show. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's, like, the characters are defined by their arcs. Kento is defined by his, like, opening arc and when he turns into Caliber arc. Spoilers. Rintaro is defined by him, his, trust in the sort of logos, like, waning and him learning to, like, be his own person and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, and I could even say the same for Toma, but, like, even so, Toma's, like, a general character, I feel like. You could, like, put him, like, in, like, he's a great crossover character, like, a character that's a motivator. And, like, he's, like, a prism that helps the other characters shine.
Interesting. I definitely did get that with Zox this episode, just the way they interacted a whole lot, which I thought it was super interesting that we chose to put Zox and Toma together rather than bring over Kaito as well and have them be buddy.
Well, it seems like they brought in over like Sabala and Duradol to Zenkaiger, so it seems like they wanted to do like another extra ranger for for the other side.
Mm-hmm. And I will say there were some funny moments the writers had on their own. Like I laughed really hard when Assistant Girl and Toma were trying to find a note just so he could write down an idea. I was like, yeah, been there.
Yeah, there's a lot of like they don't really focus on the novelist aspect of like Toma too much, but when they do, it's amazing.
And then the big thing for me with this, so like I wouldn't say I was vibing, but I was into the episode. And then the cross-dressing happened.
Oh yeah, that normally doesn't happen in Saber. Like these little.
That's not a Saber. That's not like a Saber thing. They just chose to do that for this episode.
Yeah, I guess it was like to add context to the monsters so they can like get the resolution. But like,
really, That's insane. Because, like, I got the feel that, like, oh, this is a thing they do every once in a while of, like, hey, kids, here's this old story, and we're going to act it out with the characters in goofy costume. Like, I got the feeling that that was a thing from Saber. So you telling me that it's...
arcs? It wasn't like the early arcs, but that wasn't even, like, in the way they did it. Like, it was just for, like, an episode where it's, like, they just, like, Kento and Tomo reunite, but, it's...
Really? That is fascinating. Because it was just the most awkward shit I've seen in not just Rider, but really anything Toei's made in a long time. Like,
yeah, like this episode was very much let's try to be Zenkaiger in tone, because like, but Saber's been kind of depressing and like kind of beating you down for these last few episodes. So it's like it's especially because like the last episode had this really emotional climax to a story arc and a cliffhanger, and now we're just like, haha, funny pirate, he do a funny dance.
Yeah, like I kind of knew there was some. By the way, that's gonna be the episode title. I kind of knew there was some shit going down in Saber. So when I saw the episode open and it's just they're just having a lovely time with the boys, I was like, oh, we must be on break before the final arc. But now you divulge all this shit to me, and I'm like, okay, this is.
It's why it's called special chapter. It's why it's called special chapter instead of episode 44. Unlike
this is blatant. Watch our movie. This episode can go literally anywhere.
Yeah, it's probably like taking place like in between like episode 40 or 41 or something. So
it's also just weird that like the story starts in media res. Like we never see them create this this world in Zenkaiger universe. They just kind of jump into Zox has chased it into the Kamen Rider universe, which is a bit odd.
Yeah. Although, like, again, like you probably don't want to waste too much time, and you want to get those crossover interactions and stuff, which is fine. But yeah, this is a fine episode of Saber. I'd say it felt more like a Zenkaiger episode. Other than that.
All right, well, let's moving on then.
Yeah, to Zenkaiger, episode 20, the swordsmen and the pirates' brotherly oaths. Well, let's get your vibe on it, Vac.
Again, I really liked this episode, and then the cross-dressing happened. And the cross-dressing was much more justified this time, I'll give it that. But also, this is the first time in a long time that I've been genuinely terrified someone was going to walk in on me watching Tokusatsu.
Dang it. Well, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a cute thing, especially because they, like, on Twitter, they had, like, little pictures of the characters just like doing like little like model walks. It was cute.
Oh well, that's cute. I'll give it that. It was just such like a whoa, this is a lot to put on my screen kind of a thing moment.
Yeah, because it's like 5 characters at once, but still, this was a great episode. Okay, here's the weird part. Again, gotta get to some Saber stuff. This is really the first episode where Durandal really gets to like have an arc.
Yeah, I saw people saying that on Twitter that like Zenkaiger treated these two characters better than Saber has.
Especially Sabala definitely, but Durandal, I think he's been treated well. He just hasn't gotten a chance to do a character arc, and they kind of started to like give him some like stuff of him regretting being a villain and like regretting being a general for sort of logos in the past. But like and like Saber, but like here they give him like a much more like arc and kind of like justify like, oh, why is Rekka always talking about her brother? Because I'm not even kidding. So Rekka, she used to be this really cool character for like episode 10 to like 28 when she got some cool moments to be a Rider. Then episode 29, her brother gets introduced, and literally most of her dialogue has the word brother in it, and it's like, what the Rekka?
Oh, it's that kind of a thing. Okay.
Yeah, so like, calm down. like it's like this kind of like brotherly oaths. Although I will admit, they somehow managed to tie this like very naturally back to Zox and give kind of like like the good moment, brotherly moment that actually felt brotherly and not anything creepy.
Yeah, I do like that Durandal has that moment where he just straight up says it's not about love, it's about the fact that being separated from my sister, I think he said again, would be unimaginable for me.
Yeah, because they grew up like together, like from their youth. They've been training with and the sort of logos. So, yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's like a much more justified character than anything I've heard about these two from literally anyone.
Yeah,
and then like fucking Zenkaiger, man, out here with the fucking female rights shit. These two damsels in distress straight up free themselves while all the guys are just bumbling around with the monster of the week.
Yeah, although, like, speaking of the bubbling, Rider gears, we get, like, some common Rider gears. Although, like, if I
Yeah.
can complain quickly, this Vroom doesn't get a gear, and he complains when I'm like, you literally could have given, like, from the pattern they used, they went for the last few Rider series, the next one they could have used was Build. You could have given Vroom Build. This is very frustrating to me as a Build and Vroom fan.
Also, wow, I did not think of that until just now, and now I'm a little pissed off too. That would have been such a good mix of aesthetics and powers.
And before anyone says it doesn't make sense, when has these crossover things ever make sense? Just do it. It's fun and it makes sense.
Yeah, like Flint is barely in this episode too. She just shows up to give the gears and then hugs Zox for 2 seconds.
Yeah, although again, like I think it was justified given that like Zox was she wanted to make sure like Flint was safe because of the monster's agenda.
Yeah. Oh my god, the fucking Chibi bros sleeping was adorable.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
How do you feel about Super 2 Kaiser now that we've seen it in motion?
The dance, wonderful.
The dance,
Yeah, just like going like, yeah, it's so. This man got drip.
Like legitimately, I have gone from being like, dancing, huh? That's a bit different. All right, whatever. To like, yes, King, show me your moves. Go. Oh my god, bro.
I wish it lasted a bit longer. Like that's how much I love it, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the suit is really cool. I love the cape. So like that's
Yeah,
a lot about the win.
I didn't notice the cape until the episode, so I like fucking marked out for that.
Yeah, and I think it's like it looks for me. It's better than Super Zenkaiger, but even so, those are very both thematically different suits and like design philosophy. So,
gosh, what else is there to say? Oh yeah, there was some gay shit in this episode.
yeah, as usual, Zenkaiger. Yeah, like with Sabala.
I think it's pretty much canon at this point that Majin is bi at the very least.
Yeah, it really does feel like she's an icon at this rate, and also this makes sense because Rekka's actor, Sabella's actor, like she actually been standing Majin on Twitter, so she probably led to this.
I wonder if she just straight up asked the director, like, "Yo, can we have my character do this?"
Yeah, probably.
I just want to hug the suit. Can I please hug the suit?
Yeah, they did some like photo op for like they post on Twitter, so it's wonderful. It's really adorable what they did. Yeah. But yeah, this was a great Zenkaiger episode. I feel like I like that more than Saber because you get a feel for like it both enhances Saber and Zenkaiger in like many ways. Whereas like the Saber one was just like, that was fine.
Yeah. I'm searching my mind real quick to think if there's anything else to say about this.
I wish there was a mecha joke where it's like, the Sentai Rider mecha joke where it's like if they did it for the spring specials and like Tokuger and Ninja where like the Rider characters would be just like ignore the mecha. I wish they did that.
Also, it was a little weird that Stacy never showed up. I would have liked to see Stacy reacting to all this Rider nonsense for just like 2 seconds.
You could have had. Trying to think what would make sense in the story because Caliber is currently out of commission. We haven't used the suit in a while. Just Caliber and Scorius. Oh, they could have
maybe somehow find a way to like compare Durandal and oh god, what's Stacy's suit called?
Stacyzer?
Yeah, compare those 2 suits and be like, you guys look like you could be distant relatives. What's going on there?
I don't see it, to be honest, but yeah. Whatever.
I just mean like colors wise.
Yeah, but this was a great superhero time. I actually I'll be able to talk once because superhero time's going on hiatus until August because of the Olympics. And hey, when we come back, I'll be able at least to talk about new Saber episodes, the final arc at least. It's pretty sick. Because I'm all caught up. We'll talk about that at a while.
Yeah, before that though, let's move on.
Kyusei Sentai Waku Saver Episode 3 Bright Light Fighter. This was the best Waku Saver yet. I think I'm dropping it. Like, this
now that's the episode title.
Dang, I'm just throwing out zingers. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like it was a better episode, but I'm like I think I know what this series is about. I don't need to watch more. I'm good.
I mean, the thing is, we kind of figured out last week how this series works and where it's all going. And like literally, I kind of feel like I got the last piece of the puzzle this week, where I was like, oh, every episode so far has been an origin for one of the guys. There's 6 episodes. They're probably going to want to do a 6 Ranger trope. So I'm betting we're holding off on the girls' origin until the episode that's straight to DVD.
Anyway, let's not talk about it for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was story-wise, and character-wise, I'd say this is the best one. But still, it's kind of I would say this kind of plays into the more funnier aspects of a quote-unquote Sentai parody. Like it actually feels like a parody.
Yeah, because like this episode, fucking Yellow's backstory is straight up told with the Kamen Rider Wizard episode of the week format, where it's like, oh, he lost his dream and he has this one precious item that represents his dream, and now the villain is going to try and destroy it to make him real sad, and he turns it into a fucking morpher. That's the whole episode,
and it's
which is cool. Yeah, which led to now my favorite tweet I've ever made.
Yeah, so Tokusatsu is a complex medium of storytelling.
Oh my god!
Shoes.
And it's just give me back my shoes. I want my shoes. I love that he says shoes in English too.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Frickin' the only problem I have with it is they never say like what exactly was the injury that made him have to give up ballet. It's just a bunch of articles on his phone screen saying, how will he go on? And I'm like, what happened? What happened?
I mean, to be fair, I think that's okay to be vague because the rest of the thing was good. But still, I don't think I'm gonna keep up with Saber, honestly.
That's entirely fair. I think I'll keep on with it as long as it keeps this level of quality. But it's definitely not going to be top priority for me. Like if this show doesn't get any better from here on out, it'll probably be a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's an okay Sentai parody. It's a novelty, like you know. At most, maybe the next episode will be about books, so like make a pun.
I mean, we got Green's origin next week, and it seems like it involves Leotard Lady somehow, and yeah,
okay. Anyway, next episode.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ultraman Trigger, New Generation Tiga, Episode 2, Leap into the Future, or Leap to the Future. I love this episode.
I like this episode a lot more than Episode 1. I feel like they found their flow here.
Like everyone said, like the first episode was full of like New Generation, like not New Generation, Tiga references. This is more. They said this episode had less Tiga references, and I think because they focused on the characters and the character dynamic is so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's all about introducing the Guts Select team, and they all seem super interesting. And I've already picked a favorite. Can you guess who it is?
The lady?
No, it's Muscle Man.
Oh yeah, the muscle man from like who was like the guy in Jeed. Yeah, he's great.
Where he goes to the main character and he's like, "Oh, you're feeling a little sad? Don't worry, you can cure anything with working out." And I'm like, "Yes, Chad, shit, let's go."
And Akito is his name, like who's the focus of this episode. I love him.
Scientist Man.
Yeah, Scientist Man. I love him and Kengo's interactions. It actually reminded me of another Kengo in Tokusatsu with Kengo and Gentaro from Fours, with like their whole "it should have been me, that should have been the Rider," but it's like you could still do a lot by just me.
That's probably the comparison everybody else went for. But the thing is, I haven't seen Fours, so like I saw him saying, "Oh, it should have been me." And all I could think of was Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston from like 2 years ago in WWE.
Yeah, or like that one Yu-Gi-Oh meme, like, or it should have been me, not him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
But yeah, this is a great episode. I love the new villain they introduced. He's kind of like, oh, my rival, Trigger. Like, why am I giving them all weird accents?
Because they deserve it. They are a multicultural villain group.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but like he's like, my rival, let's fight, and it's like he's not as like buff as I thought. Like he doesn't have that like buff like must get stronger personality as I thought, but he's still like a very cool villain, I'd say. I really like his suit as well. He has the best suit of the three. Oh,
definitely. Quick question though. Can you do me a favor and make the blue villain Swedish?
I will. I don't know how Sweden sound like.
Start watching some videos of Access.
There.
Oh my god. No, that was great. The only thing that really gave me pause in this episode was just that we found out, because I think in the character reveal it said she was just recently graduated, but no, Yuna is a literal high school student on
Ooh.
this military space exploration and monster fighters team.
Well, to be fair, Akito like is related to them, and then like their dad is like one of the head of honchos, so they're probably pulling strings and stuff.
Yeah, but it's also just like she too young, and I don't trust Sakamoto. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say it. I don't trust the man. Like
Yeah, but
I,
man,
I tend not to give men too much grief for their kinks, but like if you're gonna make her a literal high school student, you better fucking not, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, on less controversial things, power type looks pretty decent. Probably my least favorite of the forms.
Yeah. I also
I do like how it's more water based. We don't really see like strength and water mixed together in Toku.
What was the transformation phrase again? Seize the victory something?
Yes, it was like seize the victor. Let me look this up. On like the Ultraman trigger. You could watch the episodes on YouTube. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and Waku Saber is also on Twitter or on YouTube for anybody who doesn't know. It's on YouTube for anybody who wants to check out Waku Saber as well, but like the Waku Saber subs on YouTube are pretty poor.
I mean, they're fine for like they're watchable. I'm looking at the transformation phrase right now. I love the USB gimmick. I've actually had an idea of Toku USB gimmicks for a while.
I mean,
Seize the victory, the light of strength. That's the thing.
Okay, because the first one was build the future, the light of hope.
Yeah, and I wonder what Sky Type's going to be. I'm actually really excited for Sky Type's debut, not just so we can see the final Giant of Darkness, but because Sky Type is actually my favorite suit in Trigger so far.
Let's see, who else have we not talked about that gets introduced? Oh yeah, fighter pilot lady. She was fun. She's basically What If Emu but a mom. So
yeah. Basically, like she's like so uninterested, but like when she gets to play with the toys, like the little like fighter jets, she gets like, yeah,
let's go. I can see a lot of people making her their waifu, honestly. But
I actually thought she was gonna be your favorite.
I mean, she's probably third behind Muscle Man and Kengo.
Yeah, Kengo's been really good this episode. Like, especially like I know some people like are like kind of like, oh, he says smile too much, but like. You know, like I don't mind that, especially like I like Toku protagonists who have uplift and like improve, like help, like for lack of a better word, improve other characters through their like positivity. Mm-hmm. I love that trope.
I do really like how it's utilized this episode. We kind of skipped over it, but there's that great scene where Scientist Man is like, "Hey, it should have been me. I built your transformation device. I wanted to be Trigger so that I could protect my sister."
That's the scene that like sold me on Trigger as like
and Kengo,
to be honest.
And Kengo just goes, dude, I'm trying to protect everyone, including you and your sister. Like, I'm sorry, but we gotta have a wider reach here.
Yeah. Although I'm still wondering if he'll have like a darker motive, and I'm still interested to see how they'll play off each other in the next few episodes. Because he has the whole big like ancient tablet.
Yeah. Also, she didn't get a whole lot this episode, but the alien that's voiced by Mao was adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, the hot dog, as you call it.
Hot dog. It's like 3 times you've made me bust a gut this episode.
Hey, I'm just throwing out the zingers. I guess Trigger brings out the best. Also, that like not Bosco tease was great.
Mm-hmm. And I should probably say it because I said I needed to wait for it last week. Now that I've seen the full OP, it's a fucking jam, man. It slaps so hard.
It does. The full version's even better. We're like, yeah.
I listened. See, here's the thing. I listened to the full version after we recorded last week, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. But something about having it in the episode just like made me start dancing in my seat. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, it's very much like Take Me Higher 2, but it's a really good Take Me Higher 2.
Mm-hmm. Like just straight up, as soon as he starts saying pull the trigger, it's like yeah,
like, and then like the different ways he says like now I can pull the trigger, I will be for the trigger. That so good.
Yeah, I am fully behind this OP.
Yeah, and I'm also fully behind Trigger now. Like this is the episode that like sold me on Trigger. So many great moments, so many like getting to know the characters and like
And
the
like
action.
this is Tokusatsu, and we didn't even talk about the fact that the effects are so good in this episode. Like
Yeah,
we got a fucking underwater fight, dude. Oh my god.
yeah. It's just oh yeah. It's like Trigger's really shaping up to be like the best Toku of the year. We'll see how Revice does.
Like it's I'm not gonna slag off Revice until it's started, but like it's gonna have to do a lot if it wants to beat out Trigger at this point.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And also Zenkaiger's got a huge leg up on both of them, but like
It has
apples
20
and
episodes.
oranges. Yeah, it's apples and oranges. But that's all the new episodes for this week because Parahero Gandline has started, but we didn't have time to watch it this week. So we're going to get to it sometime in the next 2 weeks. We might do episodes 1 and 2 next week, and we might just wait for the whole thing to be out. We're on the side at the moment.
It'll be all out by the next time we watch it. And also, like, Zenkaiger and Saber are on hiatus next week, so we might have time to watch it all. Well,
okay, fuck it. I'm just going to say right now, we're doing all of Gand Hero next week.
Yeah, depending on like if third episode subbed, because I know like the person subbing it has like kind of been like I'm doing this as a hobby. This is like a I mean also fan subbing is a hobby, but still.
Yo,
like,
quick PSA, people, don't pressure fan subbers. Let them do their thing in their own time.
Yeah, especially given the whole like this thing earlier this year for the whole Toei shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Like as much as I'm very strict on we record on this day and it comes out on this day. If a show isn't subbed in time, I'm not going to be like, yo, fuck X subgroup because now I can't do my show. No, we just won't. We'll just wait and do 2 episodes next week. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Toei shenanigans, I caught up on Saber, finally. Also watched the short movie that aired with Real X Time.
Oh, cool. How was it?
I'll start with the movie since that comes first. The movie was really good. It's only like 20 minutes. It's very much, here's a short film about all the Saber Riders being cool. But
it's
also
kind of the same thing as that Zenkaiger movie last week.
Yeah, very much. I mean, it feels more like coherent to the show than Zenkaiger, especially since like the movie exclusive writer comes back for a couple episodes. And actually, no, not even a couple episodes, like 10 episodes in Saber, so it's kind of important. It's a nice episode, basically, a nice feature-length episode. But it's also not feature length, it's the same thing as an episode. Nice big budget episode with like great action and very nice effects. But also what stuck out to me was the speech May made like throughout the special. Like while the riders are fighting, like she's kind of telling the people about like the Kamen Riders, and it's very much here's the Kamen Riders. This is like their entire shtick, and kind of spelling out the thematics of the franchise, where it's like they don't ask for a reward. They like fight, but they sacrifice themselves to defend humanity and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty aesthetic.
Yeah, and like they don't really outright say it, but the new movie exclusive form, Emotional Dragon, comes from the people's want to like people's like emotion towards Kamen Rider. Again, they don't outright say it, but that's what it's implied. And I thought that was really beautiful. Like, I know a lot of people saying, Emotional Dragon came out of nowhere. And I'm like, well, if you do, like, a bit of digging, it really didn't. Also, it's a great suit. It gives, like, Saber a shield as well, so...
Also, since when have your emotions ever been predictable?
I don't know. Yeah. As for Saber the Show, episodes 32 to 43, very good. The Suleiman arc kind of lasted a bit too long. It kind of, you're just waiting for him to be defeated, and like Isaac / Suleiman, he's a fun bastard character. They kind of waited a bit too long. I felt like he should have been defeated around like 35 or 36 instead of like 40. But it's still fun stuff. And then we get the backstory. I'm gonna, if you don't mind spoilers, the backstory of Storius and basically all the other villains. Basically, him and the narrator guy Tassel. There's a reason he wasn't in this episode. He's dead.
Oh, R.I.P. R.I.P. legend.
Yeah, so Tassel, the 3, like Storius, Zeus, Lingeal, and Isaac, they were the first 5 humans to discover Wonder World, but everyone but Tassel got corrupted by power inevitably, and the power of the like books and stuff, and like that. Isaac.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Wonder World.
Yeah, that's the world of that the Wonder Ride books, like Wonder World. Yeah, got a joke?
I just I've heard some silly names in Toku, but that one takes the cake, honestly.
Well, to be fair, like the gimmick toy is called Wonder Ride books, so
Fair, but like I just didn't expect Wonder World for some reason.
yeah, it's fine. Again, it's like wondrous. It's this very magical place where CGI is kind of bad, but like it's only bad for 2 episodes. I'll admit it's only bad for 2 episodes, but that's besides the point. Yeah, and then Storia starts to like he kills Tassel. They have a really good emotional moment, and I'm like, like a show killing off the narrator, making me feel emotional for it, and I'm like, oh, that's so good. Great emotional moment. And then, like, we get Saber's final form, which it's a great debut. It's a bit weird, but it's a bit rushed, I think. I felt like it could have used
What's final form called again?
Cross Saber.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like it. I don't. It's actually a cool tidbit. The suit was hand painted, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they hand painted all the glitter stuff. So, and actually, it's not just the final form. It's like the cool thing. It's not just a sword that you put into the belt with just the base Wonder Ride book, like Brave Dragon. You can actually add other books to like make, and there's add-ons to that glittery add-ons that represent those power-ups, which I think is a pretty cool way to like still like sell out the clearance stuff, like last minute. Hey, buy the toys and because they function with the final form toy, like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, Saber, like, I do, like, kind of harp on the toy, bits of the toy line, but when it does a toy line, when it, like, does something right, it does something right. Sabala was a bit bad in episode 43, although we did finally get the climax to the Ren and Diecast arc. So Diecast, he's kind of this rogue monster, he kind of shows up occasionally, and he and Kamen Kenzan and Ren have kind of been, like, training to get stronger, and then they, like, fight, they have their final fight, and it's, like, so emotional, it's, like, and like the cool thing is, so Kenzan, he starts off trying to mimic the others, but then he realizes like his character arc is about him finding strength within himself instead of mimicking and trying to go the path of others, like going on his own path to find strength. And then that's how he beats Diecast and stuff, and it's a really emotional. One of those poetic food analogies in Toku where the last things is try this, like the sea cucumber thing or something. Did I kill you, Vac? Did I just kill you?
No, I'm just letting you go, man. You're good.
Yeah. For a second, because I feel like you would have something witty to say. Like, yeah.
I mean, like, literally the only thing I've fought to say is just to go, like, hey, do you know the actual backstory to the sea cucumber joke?
Yeah, it's just a writer in-joke. It's like an in-joke within, like, the writer's room of decades.
It's an in-joke within an in-joke, which is the fucking thing.
Like, Shirakura, man.
What a magnificent bastard. Yeah. Shirakura, you magnificent bastard. I've watched all your shows.
Yeah. Saber's been, good. Again, the Suleiman arc kind of lasted a bit too long, but still a very entertaining watch, I'd say. Other than that, I got nothing else.
All right. So I think that's pretty much everything on our itinerary this week. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Buster, tell the good people who you are and where they can find your stuff.
I'm Buster Corp. I do videos. It is currently very noisy outside, so I'll probably get out of here soon. But I do videos, and I did some Gokaiger and Ultraman videos. So watch them, please. I'm doing things on Boom Power Rangers comics from we talked about in the beginning of the show. Hey,
Buster's in full Toku content swing. So go check out their stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Vac?
Yes, I am the newly refreshed Vacuuminator because I have a full new art asset suite designed by our fellow Modular Media member Boingo Rider. I unveiled it on Friday, and there's plenty more I'm not showing you yet. So definitely go and give all my stuff a look, especially my YouTube channel, because hey, by the time you're listening to this, my Patreon will have just relaunched, and I'm not going to be a shill and tell you to donate to my Patreon on the Modular Media channel, but just go and give it a look. Just give it a look. Why don't you? And you can do that by going to youtube.com/thevacuuminator, which is THEVACUUMINATOR. You can also follow me on Twitter at the Vacuuminator, and follow me on Instagram at _Vacuuminator. And before you do any of that, why don't you also do me a big favor and support this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on by following it. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, ring the bell in order to enable notifications and get every Modular Media podcast as they come out. And if you want production updates and other little silly hints and things at stuff we're doing, go follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media and join our subreddit r/modular media. But that is gonna do it for this week in Tokusatsu, everybody. So we'll see you next week when we find out what happens that week in Tokusatsu.